Well, two completely different personalities in terms of Elgin and Wilt. Two completely different people, Michael. And frankly, it was a team that was not together. Okay, it just couldn't play together at that point in time.
CLNS history is powered by FanDuel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
And, we were all getting old. Elgin had some really bad injuries, and he was the teammate of my dream. Just the best person you'd ever want to be, the most sharing, giving. I idolized him, not only as a player, but as a person. He was genuine. And Will all of a sudden had this big personality, and someone who, if you don't know people like that and you know some of the things they do, you're almost reluctant to even say hello and pretty soon you find out he's a great guy. And frankly, it was frustrating because I thought we could be better than we were, but it just didn't work. And again, age was a factor there, and particularly Elgin's injury, because he was like the acrobatic star of that period of time. But more importantly, he was a great teammate, somebody you just loved to be around. He was fun, generous, and Wilt was different. But everyone is different, Michael, and you have to learn in a locker room that you see certain people that react to games different ways. I know every game was like a war. Every game was like, if we didn't win, I was devastated. I hated to lose. And, people don't realize, they see an NBA season comprised today of 82 games. And if you lose 22 games, in my college career, I didn't lose 22 games. And you lose 22 games and you say to yourself, oh my God, what a horrible season. Well, you won 60. And so you have to understand that the most competitive people play the most competitive games. It's simply not possible to win every game. Unfortunately, exhibition games today are nothing. We took them serious then, but we played, my first year, I think we played 14 exhibition games. 13 of them against the Boston Celtics. And you can imagine what the last few of those, the last two games we played, there were fights before the game even started. And you just got to the point we couldn't stand to see each other all the time. But
and Jerry, hold up. Just on that point there, I'm glad you brought that up, because we'll bring something up as I was looking through your background, where Coach Van Bredikoff was a coach. And he called Wilt a slacker. And Wilt called him the worst coach he's ever played for. And I guess they got into a confrontation where Wilt was getting ready to punch him. Elgin steps in, breaks it up. And again, I know what you're talking about, chemistry. And with that being said, your 25-point average was the lowest of your career because you felt the chemistry wasn't there with the team.
Well, as I say, with three guys like that, Michael, my career was all over the place in terms of scoring and stuff. And a lot of minutes played during those career. Everyone, I think, averaged over 40 minutes a game. And we had good teams. I think 6 times in my career, I averaged over 40 points. So we had a lot of blowout. But, the problem is that respect. When you're trying to assimilate yourself and make yourself a team, it wasn't dependent. This team wasn't dependent on Baylor and West to lead in scoring. And we did every year, the two of us. That's not the way to play basketball, Michael. It's not fun. And it's really taxing on you both physically and mentally. During that period of time, you're trying to adjust your game because you don't want to intercede and affect Elgin's game and or Wilt's game. And Wilt had gotten to the point where, he wasn't scoring a huge amount of points a night. His presence out there, rebounding wise, blocking shots. And Michael, he was a very good passer.
Yeah.
He actually led the league in assists, and people did not know that. But it just was not a match made in heaven. It was not. And it just didn't mesh. And to say there's adversarial feelings between the coach and the biggest player in the league at that time in terms of size and probably personality. And that was not fun to be around. I will tell you, it was not. And, people were asking you to take sides. Should I take the side of a player or take the side of the coach? And don't get me wrong, okay? Michael, whoever I played for as a coach, whatever he asked me to do, I did. If I even didn't believe it, I did it. And it was, coaches back then were completely different than they are today. They had little help, maybe one assistant. They had really no scouting reports. Every game today is like a preparation for a test.
Yeah.
And some players pick that up quicker. And the veterans who stay around like yourself, the players who played more than 10 years, 14, 15 years today, those are the players that seem to be able to assimilate themselves in a team game and also know what is expected of them of each game, regardless of what your position. If you're a rebounder, defender, everyone expects you to do that tonight. If you're a scorer, a passer, a leader, people expect that out of you. And the more well-rounded a player is, Michael, the more demands on you.
Yeah.
But if you have a different personality and those demands drive you crazy when you're not winning, I was a mess, to be honest with you. I just hated the losing, sleepless nights. I hated the newspapers to read, and everyone glances at the newspaper. They didn't talk about winning game. They talked about personalities and who didn't like who, and had nothing to do with the game. But it was a crazy time in my life, and not the best of times.
Take your first swing at betting MLB on FanDuel and get 10 times. That's 10 times your first bet amount of bonus bets and up to $200. Just bet $20 and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 you could spend betting everything from the money line to the over-under to who you think is going to be, hitting the first home run. All in the app that's safe, secure, it's super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on MLB than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So sign up today and visit FanDuel.com/Boston and get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/Boston. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball.